When I stopped listening to business advice, my business actually grew. So I've made multiple six figures online. And this is one of the main things that has allowed me to be able to do that and has helped me be able to do that was by limiting and eliminating the business advice and the things that I was listening to and the things that I was consuming. So I want you to be able to do the same thing. And obviously, I want success and prosperous, and I want you to prosper. And I want to help you get there by eliminating and cutting things, unnecessary things in your life, in your business. And I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do to be able to reach those same goals. Basically, the first major thing of the problem, what happens is you listen to advice from way too many people. Okay? And what happens is when you listen to too many people, your brain gets really confused in what you should be doing because you don't have a straight path to follow. What happens is that you listen and you listen to Alex Hormozi, right? You listen to one guy and he's like, hustle, grind, get the work done, right? Gary Vee. I just read his new book, Day Trading Attention. But like, right, you read these books, you listen, they're like, hustle, grind, get the work done, right? And then work 20 hours a day and don't sleep. And then you listen to someone else who is more maybe like Dan Coe or something like that, right? And he's like more of, you are the niche, like just build and write and clients will come to you, right? He's not entirely like that, but you get the point, right? When you listen to too many different people who have too many different philosophies and ideals about business and how it should work and even in life, it doesn't fare well because your brain is extremely confused and doesn't know what to do, and then you end up doing nothing, or you end up doing half of one thing and half of the other, and then what ends up happening is you get 100% done of neither of the methods. So what you should be doing instead is just pick the one that best suits you for the moment and then run with that and only do that thing. And just because you stick with, hustling right now doesn't mean that you always have to be hustling, right? There's seasons in life. We all go through seasons of life. So I just got out of a season for the last couple years. I've just been hustling really, really hard and growing the business, right? And made multiple six figures online and learned how to make money with social media and using ads and organic content, getting millions of views and doing all of that stuff, right? I've just been hustling and grinding and getting it all done to get the work done. And for right now, that season of my life is starting to come to an end. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to be hustling it again in the future. I definitely will be. But for the last few months, I've been taking it a little bit easy. I've been thinking more of, what is what is Tyler's passion? What do I want to do? How do I want to what do I want to build, right? For the long term in my life, because I'm getting to a point now where I'm going to have to start thinking about, okay, I need stability in my life because, within the next 5 to 10 years, I'd like to start having a family and that kind of a thing. So I need to start getting my priorities straight and not just make money online like I have been doing the last couple of years, but actually build something that's really sustainable and long-term and long-lasting, right? So it depends on where you are at in your business right now. I've done the hustle, the grind, the all of that. Now I'm moving to a part where I need to take a step back, remove myself, and figure out what do I want to do in my life for the long term, and what are my next steps? What does that look like? What do I want to be doing on a day-to-day basis, right? And so I can go into that more in another video. But for right now, I want to keep it on topic. I just want you guys to understand the differences that I've been going through because you might be in a similar place right now. And what can happen is when you listen to advice from too many people, your brain just gets confused and you don't do anything, right? So you may be in one season right now and you just need to stick to one method and you need to listen to one message, even if it's from multiple people. So once again, let's say that you can listen to multiple people, right? Just don't listen to too many people. So once again, if you are in that hustling phase and you're listening to and reading books from Gary Vee and Alex Hormozi, and you're in that hustle phase, that's okay to listen to multiple people because you're sticking to that one method of grind, hard work, get the work done, right? So I hope that gets the point across there. And then the other important aspect to this is so many people get stuck in the getting ready to work. And this doesn't only apply to beginners, because even as a, obviously I'm not incredibly experienced, but I have 4 years under my belt of online business and multiple six figures that I've made in online business. And with that, I can say that I can still get stuck in this too, of the getting ready to work, right? This is where you see the morning routines. This is where you see the, I have to learn everything first before I have to learn everything first before I actually make the moves, right? And so there's a balance to that. What this doesn't mean is, what you don't want to do is you don't want to get stuck in the, I have to read everything, I have to know everything, I have to know everything possible going into growing my business before I actually do it. So, right. So like I said, this doesn't just apply to beginners, because, I'm trying to figure out the next steps for what I'm going to be doing with my personal brand and with my business and everything like that. I'm figuring out those next steps because I've come to an end of a season and I've come to a pivotal point where I need to make that decision and figure out what it is that I'm going to be doing. Now, in the meantime, I can be sitting here getting ready to work, or I can just do the work that needs to get done. And once again, this work that needs to be done doesn't mean that I need to be working 18 hours a day. This work that needs to be done for the last few months has usually only been a few hours a day. Okay? So it depends on what point of your business that you're at, but this applies to any point of your business that you're at. And so we can all get stuck in the YouTube videos, in the podcasts, in the books, in the talking to people. Like, look, literally right here, I've got, hold on, hopefully you guys can see this. I gotta make sure things don't get unplugged here. So you guys can see this. I've got a bunch of, let me go widescreen here. There we go. I've got tons of books. Right here, I've got 25 books, something like that. Probably about 20 books right there. And that's, not even all of my books. But you get the point. I get caught in that too. I get caught in the YouTube videos, in the podcasts, in the books, in the talking to people, in the getting ready to work instead of actually working. And I still get caught in that even where I'm at right now, right? So with that, I want you to take on, okay, there's a couple thoughts I have here. Number one, YouTube videos, cut back on them. Just like restrict yourself to like one, if you have to do this, restrict yourself to like one a day of something that will immediately help with a problem that you're dealing with right now. And that's kind of a similar theme with all of this. So what happens is that, you watch a YouTube video and you're like, oh, I'm not dealing with this problem right now, but I might be in the future, so I want to learn how it is. That's the worst thing to do, because you're not going to remember that. You're not going to learn anything. What you actually need to do is you need to go, okay, I have this specific problem in my business. I need to go find the answer for that in YouTube video, podcasts, books, talking to people, whatever that is. But only solve the specific problem that you're dealing with right now. Don't solve for future problems, because you won't remember it. The only reason that the only way you're going to remember and you're going to learn is by actually doing the thing, right? So let's say you have a problem, you watch a YouTube video to solve it, and you do the thing and you solve the problem, you're going to remember that. But if you go, I have this problem that I'm going to run into in the future, I better learn how to fix it now, you're not going to remember it in the future. And then you just wasted your time. And then you're spending time getting ready to work. And once again, if you're only working a couple hours a day, awesome. But and now you're wasting that time solving a future problem that you don't have right now. And you could have just in the future solve that problem later, but you just wasted your time right now. So it goes the same thing with YouTube videos, podcasts, books, talking to people, all of that stuff. Now, something a very effective method that I have used for getting through books is and getting things that I actually need out of them, right? So something that I'll do is, once again, solving for current problems, like I just mentioned. But then also skimming books. Like I used to feel bad about, going through the book and like not reading it all. And then I'm like, why am I feeling bad? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, I need to find this certain answer to the problem. I can always come back to this book later, right? So skimming books, getting through them faster to find the actual answers to your burning questions right now. This is extremely effective. So I would definitely recommend that you do that. And then also only reading books that pertain to problems that you're having right now. Kind of obvious, but like don't read a book where you don't like let me see here. Okay, Traffic Secrets, right? I'm not going to go reading this book right now because I'm not doing any paid advertising currently. I've done a lot in the past. I've run a lot of ads in the past. I spent a lot of money. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on, probably close to $100,000 on ads, right? Definitely over 50. I'm probably getting close to the 100, but I have to check. But I'm not currently running any ads, so I don't need to read that book right now, right? But when I do go back to running ads, whatever type of ad that is, he covers most of them in here, so I'll probably go with that, right? You get the point here. Another thing that is good to do is what I do in regards to my approach to books. I'm going to touch this real quick here because I'll make another full video on it another time. Is like, I guess I can just title this here, just being very efficient with what you're doing. Once again, I will definitely make a video on this because I think it's very interesting. But being very efficient with your work that goes into your business. So one of the best ways that I've been efficient with my work is really getting dialed in on my phone layout. Once again, I'll make a video on this, but I just wanted to piggyback on this. On my phone layout, and then in the way in which I read. So I guess you could call it like my book schedule, I guess, or my book tactics, is I'll do one personal development book and one business book, right? So what that does is that allows me to, when I need to relax and work on myself and I'm not in the business mindset, then I have that personal book, and then I'll have here the business book. And once again, this is like something that I'm going through. This will be something that I'm going through on an active basis. And then when I finish this business book, I'll get another business book. But once again, what am I not going to do? I'm not going to get something that's just mind-numbing, getting me ready to work instead of actually working. I'm going to get a book that's going to solve a problem. If I don't have a problem to solve in my business, I'm not going to get a business book. Then I'll just stick with the personal development book to read for myself as essentially entertainment and non-business work, right? And then you'll have your phone layout as well, which is something I'm going to get into. I've been experimenting with a dumb phone, a hybrid dumb phone, which is really, really cool. Basically, you set up your screen to where it's like, so like right here. So I've got calendar, messages, phone, photos, camera, Safari, and then at the bottom I have my learning Spanish, chess, and then my Notion for my notes. So it's very simple. Okay, so what I want you to do is be very efficient with that work. So right here, right, look at the difference between this two, right? Someone who is listening to advice from way too many people, someone who is let me try that again. Someone who's listening to advice from way too many people, learning different methods, right? They're like, should I do organic? Should I do ads? Should I do webinars? And they try to do it all. Like, just pick one and stick with it because they all work. You just have to pick one and stick with it. And then if you want to do one in another season and another time, amazing, do that. But learn one at a time, right? You can stack these, but don't try to do them all at once. So don't listen to advice from too many people. Understand and recognize the season that you're in, right? So imagine someone who is listening to advice from way too many people, confused about what methods they should use to grow their business and what stuff that they should do. And then they're learning, they're spending all this time listening to YouTube videos, podcasts, books, learning about webinars, ads, organic, like learning about all these different things. And then they are being very inefficient with their work. They're reading books all the time. They have a phone that's distracting them. Like, so look at that person. Imagine that person. And then imagine someone who is just sticking to one method, right? They may listen to a few different people, but they're sticking to one method, one message, one core principle. And then they're being very tactical and they're actually working. They have a problem to solve. They go find it on YouTube. They go find it in a book. They talk to someone who knows. They solve the problem that they have currently. And then they skim their books for the answer, right? They solve the only problem that they need right now. And then they have a very simple phone that's not distracting them. And then they have they're very, once again, tactical with how they are reading a business book that is solving a current problem, and they are working on their personal development, right? And they have a very simple, quiet life that allows them for clear space in their mind to solve these problems too. A lot of times the problems that you have in your business, guys, you already know the answers to, but you're just not committing to it, and then you're continuously looking for an answer outside of it when you already have the answer in your head. It's nuts. I do the same thing. But I want you guys to be careful of getting stuck in this, and I want you to imagine those two different people. Imagine those two different versions of yourself, the two people that I just described. The person who is living a simple, quiet life, being very tactical, very intentional with what they're doing and growing their business, versus someone who is distracted and listening to too many people and is, essentially distracted is the right word compared to a simple, quiet mind. And so this all stems from when I stopped listening to business advice, my business actually grew. So once again, that is how I was able to do that. Like I said, get millions of views organically and different stuff, make multiple six figures online, spend tens of thousands of dollars on ads. Like, all of that was because I was intentional about the business advice that I was listening to. So I want you guys to remember that from this day forward. And if what I'm talking about, what I'm teaching you, doesn't align with what you're working on right now in your business, amazing. Then don't subscribe. Don't listen to me. Like, that's what I want you to do. I want you to stop listening to me if it's not applicable to you where you are right now. However, if it is applicable to you, then go ahead and subscribe and keep following along. And I'm going to keep putting out videos to help you out. But don't feel bad by saying no to things. Saying no is how you grow. We'll leave it with that. All right. We'll see you guys on the next one.